Hello everyone, welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. I have been pushing through that main quest, and we left off where I've been invited to go watch a bunch of cutscenes, basically. So we're going to try and power through that. It's nice that I finally got to the point where I actually have, like, enough money that I can teleport around without, like, worrying about it too much. Because I really just kind of couldn't before. Like, I was poor at the start of the game. And now I've made a buttload of money and I can spend it. So that's nice, but at the start of the game I felt like I couldn't really use the teleport very much. I don't know where I'm going. I should probably look into that, huh? Alright, here we are.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanima herself!
And Reborn as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore! Hurrah! Reborn!
Hoorah!
Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
Yay!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return.
Of course, you just said that you spent more in blood than anyone else. If that's not what that means, what is it, right? Like,
Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests.
I was pronouncing it tall this whole time.
If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden, and enthralled.
Enthralled by what? Wait, really?
Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames.
Wow,
It is but a slow death.
that's brutal.
Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Yeah, for Ul'dah!
Yeah.
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Reborn? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of all, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people.
I like what she has to say.
Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Raise aloft the torch. I don't know what that means.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth!
The time is now!
I
If
believe...
you'll permit me, Alfie No. And my sister, Alize, at your service.
Who are you?
I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler.
How?
You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
The Uldens have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worship the primal Ifrit. Judging by the look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them? The Uldens do not shy away from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So have they dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Garleans have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It has been observed that the Amalja summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Oh, is that what's going on? It wasn't like, we finally summoned. It's like, now he just gets summoned and dies and gets summoned and dies and gets summoned and dies. Is that what you're saying? I mean, I guess, like, in actual gameplay that's happening, but I didn't imagine it was actually happening in the world. Every time they do so, the Uldens send their forces to smite the Primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It is a war of attrition, which they cannot well sustain. Small wonder, then, that the immortal flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventure of your experience would be a most welcome addition to their ranks. Oh. Oh, okay. I thought only she was going off, but no. Okay. I mean, that was kind of cool, actually. I didn't expect it to be voice acted so much as it was. And then they actually gave me like a little like, hey, this is why you should join these people. Maybe. as far as just the guy's speech, whose name I have no idea what was, I felt really mixed about it. Like, it was, I don't know. I think Nanamo's kind of cool, but yeah, I don't know. He's very, like, war hungry in a way that I find not pleasant. Do I want to go to... I want to end Inland's Wounds anyway. That's my home! It's my home! Alright. That's so funny. The seasonal event has used the amphitheater, but everyone's gonna be like, oh, we're here for the seasonal event, and oh, we're gone. We're here for a national, more important thing. That's really funny.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood, fearful of the Green Wrath. They hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hure and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hure and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness.
Okay, who is this tortured person? Wow, they are just terrified of something, in constant fear.
And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, Each waking hour, a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk
pox
the
on that
high
bloody
roads without
Ixal.
fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity, we must think of the children.
Woods will be done.
It's up
Right,
to
that was
us
really
to
funny
protect
to
the
me.
forest.
All the elementals!
I like Gridania. I could see myself living here.
Fancy meeting you again.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a coincidence. The Gridanians, unfortunately, are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition, and want to summon their bloodthirsty primal Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians, until recently at least. Alas, they have grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Rama. Ooh, okay. I have no emotional attachment to Garuda or Rama, because they weren't in Final Fantasy VIII. The Gridanians have no love for war, and they consider open conflict a last resort. Yeah, me too. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured that they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it is broken. I do not remember this guy's voice from just the last scene. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful that restoring the wood, and thereby the power of the elementals, will put an end to their woes. Yet how long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to all-out war. And when it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them? It basically said that. Look at your outfit design. Just like, look at what you've done. I kind of like it. I think I could pull that off. like me? Like the person? Yeah, like me, the player. Oh, it's raining now. Alright, cool. Onward! Alright. See? This is the way you do it. You have a person to talk to. None of this stupid, barely noticeable point in space without any symbol over it. Come on, you're breaking... I hate it. Here to attend the Remembrance service. Be quick, the Admiral is due to give her address at any moment. Proceed.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Oh, these people are so rad. Look at everybody here.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. 700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The Crimson Field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the Black Longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom Standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilfir's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
Heck yeah. Beastkin, let's go.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin have risen?
While the mines of Ogomoro spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the Calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Admiral
Woo!
Gather the lads!
Oh,
Gather
where's
the
me
lads.
cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the seven hells, Admiral!
Like, actual distinct voices are so funny.
Fancy meeting you again.
Yeah, coincidence. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limsalamence is plagued by two beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Garleans have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Laminson's backyard. And that is to say naught of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds between the various factions, and while they fight amongst themselves, the Garleans who whet their blades and watch. If the Laminsons are to have any hope in withstanding the Empire, they must first resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, and the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect they will soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition to their crew is beyond question. But will you sail with the Admiral? Oh, can we just keep calling her the Admiral? That would be really, really nice. Please. I don't know how to say her name. Darcy, this is Minfilia. You are well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final Remembrance service is now concluded? Why didn't you come to them? Isn't this like a big deal? A moment ago, you say? What a coincidence. Coincidence. Jesting aside, yeah, I totally knew. That was a joke. I don't know why you didn't think it was funny. I trust you remember our guests from the Grand Companies? Well, delighted though they are to have them... Well, delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not be to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. So that one was actually really interesting in that, so Gridania's had a lot of like, we like peace and stuff, and I was like, I like peace and stuff. This seems like a good match. And this one was a lot more bloody. It was a lot more like, let's go take back what is ours. But what I really, really liked was that it had a pretty strong focus on the idea of building. They're not just like, let's go kill people and take their money. They were like, we need to build ships. We need to build things. We need to rebuild. And that focus I really enjoyed. Also, I just really like Limsa Laminsa. It's a place full of cool pirates, and the Admiral was rad. Alright. I hear this is the fastest way. How do I ferry docks? Who do I talk to the ferry? Oh, I walked right by them. You ferry dock ticketer. Yes, I want to go to Vesper Bay, I think. I assume that's correct. Ooh, a boat! Ooh, I'm on a boat! I love being on a boat in this game. It makes me feel like I'm on a boat. In this game. So, if you teleport to the closest Aetheryte and then walk to the Waking Sands, it takes like a buttload of time because you have to walk there. There's no Aetheryte actually in the Waking Sands or like in the town of the Waking Sands is in, which is super weird. So taking this ship is faster, especially if you skip this cutscene, which you are allowed to do. At least that's what I've been told. But so far it feels faster. Like, I didn't even skip this cutscene and it still feels faster. Maybe it's just because I don't have to run, which is really nice. I enjoy that part. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We're in Fanland. Pretty. Yeah, cool. I'll have to remember that. Have to remember that trick in the future. Hello, Tataru. Some people let fame swell their heads, but I believe that yours will remain in proportion and firmly attached to your body. Thank you, Tataru. You're the best. Westline. Welcome back, Darcy. Were the Grand Company leader's words as illuminating as you had hoped? I mean, not really, but you know, whatever. Each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would that there would be more of you, Darcy. There are plenty. There's like, I don't know, how many people play this game? Like, a lot, right? Probably a lot of people play this game. But you must be tired from your journey. Why don't you rest a while and take a moment to reflect upon your decision? Once your mind is made up, pray give the Grand Company officers your answer. Yeah, I mean, I won't do that, but thank you for offering, I guess. Oh, it's actually a cutscene. Cool.
The gods only know what Grand Company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called Remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies.
I agree with that. I think probably the only one that wasn't that... Well, actually, let me tell you now, though. They were very, like, you should be patriotic and help us, right? Like, that did happen a lot, but also, like, they were very, like, remember everyone who died in that war. Like, I feel like that did happen as well, so,
As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral Era warranted scarcely a mention.
I mean, I feel like they got brought up in all three, but maybe only, like, 2 of them? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None.
That is true.
I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alize, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience.
That guy. Oh, what's that about? Oh.
There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I need to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all.
I love how they write siblings talking to each other. This is how I talk to my brother.
The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
It's like they didn't want to make their voice actors say the dumb names they came up with when they were writing the script. Alright, cool. We're doing Storm Officer. So let's go through these, actually. Flame Officers are the... I think their leader's really cool. The like, leader of the Sultana, I really like. But I think that the, like, Flame General, or whatever his name is a big tool. And also just is just wants to kill things and to have gold, and I'm it's like, shut up. Serpent Officer, I think that their leader's really cool. Again, like the leader of Gridania, I mean, very like pacifistic, and the notion that those 2 kids in that previous cutscene, after each remembrance ceremony, they like gave me a little bit of extra fluff to help me decide. And they were saying, like, you know, they're pacifists, basically, so you need to step in and defend them because they're gonna die to the primal. That's kind of a cool notion. And then the Storm Officer, Liminsa, my hometown, love it. The Admiral is a badass, and I just think she's cool and rad. Also, like, I kind of enjoy, like, this is the place we stand and we will defend it, but we're really about rebuilding and making ourselves, like, just kind of having a place to stay and be free, and that's kind of cool. If you compare that to, like, Ulda, which is very much about, like, the prosperity of Ulda, Ulda feels very like, but prosperity is enough. We must have mountains of wealth, and I'm like, shut up. Anyway. Hey, Storm Officer. How was the Admiral's speech? Ah, but you need not explain. That you stand before me now is answer enough. You have resolved to join the Maelstrom, have you not? I mean, you all would have said that, right? Like, I'm standing in front of all of you right now, and it's not enough. I guess talking to you is what you mean. I'll join the Maelstrom, yes. That's the spirit, lass. With allies like you, how much stronger is our crew? Let us brave the seas together, friend. Now the choice is made. It is time to add your name to our rolls. Make your way to Maelstrom Command back in Limsa. I get some red dye so I can change all my clothes to match. That's really funny. The Maelstrom recruitment officer seems eager to welcome you to Limsa Limited Creative Company. Let's go! 'Tis on the upper decks, in case you have forgotten. I will send word to our personnel officer to expect you. The duties of a Maelstrom soldier can be both arduous and challenging, but I promise you, you will not regret the choice. May your passage be swift and your bearings sure. Well, I can't use return. I've used it too recently. I was like, yeah, that's my home point. Limsa. And like, nope, can't even do it. It'll wait 200 seconds. Alright, let's go. That's actually pretty cheap. Or I could just spend 80 bucks. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the ferry. What am I talking about? This way I get to walk by Tataru and say hi to Tataru. Hi, Tataru. Some people with fame swell their heads. Thanks, Tataru. Oh no. Hello. Hello, would you like to go to Little Chocobo? Yes, please, thank you. Okay, skipping it this time. Yes! Oh, gee, I kind of wish I hadn't. That sky was really pretty. Oh well. The Aft Castle. Let's go. Ah, of course. The Limsa Liminsa Valentine's proceedings. One last look at that while I'm walking away from it. Alright, here we are. Hail, adventurer! What business have you at Maelstrom Command? My name is DarcyBits. I believe you are expecting me. I am here to enlist, if you will have me. I'm DarcyBits. You're expecting me. Please. My name is DarcyBits. I believe you're expecting me. DarcyBits, I, our recruitment officer, sent word of you coming. It shall be my honor to induct you into the ranks of the Maelstrom. Now, before I can accept your oath, you must be made aware of several... Sir! What is it, Private? And this had better be important. Sir, we received a report from the lookout on Lower Lalon. I'm so sorry, I'm so flustered. Sir, we've received a report from a lookout in Lower Lanasia, sir. Imperial forces have fired upon Highwind Skyway airships. Do I have to do, like... I thought this was just going to join the company and it'd be fine. But no, you're going to make me do some sort of, like, introductory quest to get into the... Just put me on the list. I'm never going to talk to you again. Come on. The vessel is in a bad way, sir, and appears to be banking for an emergency landing in Cedarwood. Cedarwood? These people might have the same voice, I'm not sure. Damn it! We had no troops available in that area. The bulk of our infantry is bogged down in the coast, skirmishing with the fishbacks. Come on, that's rude. Bois, this is highly irregular, but I fear your first duty in service to the Maelstrom must needs be unofficial. If our man in Lower Lunasia is correct, the airship will come down in territory crawling with Imperial scouts. If there are any survivors, we must reach them before the Garleans do. Make haste to Cedarwood, locate the airship, and, if any of its occupants are alive, make sure they come to no further harm. We'll see about swearing you in upon your return. Look at this cool ferry. Look at this ferry. I feel like it's such a waste to stop now, but I feel so done. I don't... What? Where am I going? Here? That's not even like a convenient... Yeah. Fine. 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 Are you gonna make me fight something? Like, if it was just going there to the farms, or wherever I'm going, I'd be like, this is annoying, but fine. But, like, I don't want to do a fight. Fights are long and boring in this game. They're like, stand here for 10 minutes, hitting the same 3 buttons in sequence. That's it. That's a fight. And I realized that I described every fight in every Final Fantasy game, but still. Ugh. Where am I going? Oh, look at that. Crashed airship. This is the thing they were talking about. Maybe I don't have to fight anything. Oh, hello. Duty calls. Commencement battle for the company you keep, Maelstrom. I wanted to talk to this guy, but okay. If you are above the maximum allowed level, it will be synced. Level 24. I am above the maximum level. Okay, sweet. Being above the maximum level seems better than being below the maximum level, because presumably everything's balanced towards the maximum level. Or at least, you know, it's balanced the same regardless of your level. Hey, look at me. What was that? It was just a dodo, sir. Do I know you? You're not wearing red. Oh, you're the airship crewman. An adventurer. What are you doing out here? No, wait. Let's find some cover first. Run, 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 run. They didn't notice us because we waited till their backs were turned. We're behind this big tree. No one would ever think to look behind a big tree. Maelstrom Command sent you? How do I know you're not an Imperial spy? You don't even have a uniform. That's true, I don't. Aww. Be at ease, sir. We are of the Maelstrom. You're a Garland Ironworks engineer, yes? One of our lookouts reported the attack on your craft. We're here to rescue you. Then why'd I have to come here? You must be Bois. Good work on reaching our friend here before the Imperials. It super didn't matter. It was irrelevant that I came. I get my eye on you. I'd say this game's really good at creating, like, sets of characters that look really good in, like, a tableau. Like, it's pretty good at that. Like, those 3, like, looked really good. They have, like, all the levels. It's, I've never seen a craft of this design. It must be Garland's work. If there's no end, is there no end to the man's treachery? Is it Sid Garland? Is that what is this gonna be a Sid? The secrets of Magitech belong in Imperial hands. They are not to be squandered on Eorzean savages. We are taking the craft back to the fortress. Dismantle it, if you must, and bring the engineer. Someone must pay for Garland's crimes. Scouting party from Castrom's Occidents, I'd say. Seems they want your ship, engineer. Please stop calling me engineer, I have a name, you know. No, you don't. Your name is engineer, it says so in your text box. No, my name is crewman, it says in the text box. Shut up. What is it again? Wedge, you have to help him. That fool of a Lalafell was hiding inside a tiny Bronco. The tiny Bronco? Also, Wedge! The tiny Bronco. Isn't that the new design people have been whispering about? It's the first airship we built since the Calamity. The first since Master Garland. Well, since he went missing. Wait. You didn't name yourself. You can't just start calling yourself Biggs. Shh. I made this whole joke about how you don't have a name. Now you just have a name in your text box? Come on. I mean, yes, I know you're Biggs because your friend is Wedge and that's the trope, but come on. After years of work, she was finally ready for her first test flight. And she was soaring. She really was, till those bastards blast her out of the sky. Alright, pay attention. We're gonna hit those Imperials hard and fast. If they want a souvenir from Eorzea, they can have a knife in the gut. But they're not getting that ship. Oh, and don't forget to save the Lalafell. What say you, bois? Ready to give those curs a hiding? I nodded. Like a tidal wave, lads. Charge! Cool. That's what that guy said. An ambush! To arms! I actually really enjoyed that little segment. I thought that was a really good, like, here's a cool thing about the setting we haven't talked about, but it was introduced in an actually kind of interesting, dynamic way, and I do kind of care about finding out who Garland is, and I do kind of care about trying to figure out, like, you know, more about Biggs and Wedge. Like, I'm kind of into that. Unfortunately, I don't care at all about this combat sequence. It's just, it's not anything I care about. Isn't that cool? Oh, I forgot to summon my cat. I should do that. There we go. I haven't been fighting, so I keep just not summoning them. Whoa! Okay. Alright, that's new. I didn't expect that. Oh, is Imperial gonna... Oh, no, that's fine. Bada boom, we did it! Yay! I kind of like that quest, actually. I was dragging on it, but that one was actually kind of cool. It's got characters that I think are interesting. Biggs! It's me! Wedge! Wedge, you shouldn't have stayed on the ship. That was a close one. Too damn close. So, how's she look anyway? Well, since you did stay on board, give me the situation. The auxiliary propeller is dead loss, but I think we can wring enough... I think we can wring enough thrust from the main propeller to get us airborne. A few minor modifications and we should be able to fly the tiny Bronco home. We'll stand watch until the ship is ready to take off. The Imperials will come looking for their scouts eventually, but I doubt they'll get here for a good while yet. Bois, you're free to return to Maelstrom Command and complete your induction. Ordinarily, I'd ask you to stay, but I think we'd all feel better knowing an adventurer of your ability was safely sworn in and ready for the next mission. Rest assured, I'll inform command of the part you played today. I, just wanted to say sorry, for calling you an Imperial spy and all that. Got that one wrong, didn't I? Ha ha ha! Seriously, though, if it hadn't been for you, the Maelstrom lads there, if it hadn't been for you and the Maelstrom lads there, we'd be chained up in a dungeon by now. I'm in your debt, friend. We both are. Wedge.
Yeah. Thank you. We're very grateful. I changed their voice immediately. Thank you. We're very grateful.
I can stick with the voice not too bad if I don't have to switch to other voices, but once I'm gone, I'm just like, I don't know, I'll make a new one up. I hope I wasn't supposed to talk to somebody before I returned, because I'm gone. Not you. Salute! Welcome back, Bois. I just heard the report. Of course you did. You needn't be concerned about the engineers. They completed their return trip without further Imperial interference. They had to fix a ship and fly it somewhere. I teleported. Okay. I must admit, I had my doubts at first, but it seems the stories about you were true. You don't have to admit that to me. Don't let me know that you had your doubts. Come on. I have a fragile ego. I look forward to seeing what else you're capable of, after you're properly inducted into the Maelstrom, of course. Now, speaking of your induction. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da! Give me some money. Okay. Oh, I gotta talk to you again. Storm Seals. The personnel officer stands ready to complete your induction into the ranks. Accept. Induct me! Let us start fresh, shall we? Afresh. You are welcome here, Darcy Bois. That such a well-respected adventurer would choose to join our ranks is most heartening. Before you swear your allegiance to us, however, it is only right that I tell you exactly what it is that you will be joining. I appreciate that. A grand company is more than simply a collection of soldiers. It is an all-encompassing organization which draws upon the resources of an entire city-state to form a united military force capable of standing against a nation's deadliest enemies. We of the Maelstrom are charged with meeting the threats posed by the Primals and the Garlean Empire, and solving the many problems caused by the calamity. Every man and woman who serves under our colors has a role to play in keeping the great warship that is Limsa Laminsa afloat, and on whatever heading Chief Admiral Merle sees fit to set. As part of this grand vessel's crew, you will be expected to take your turn at the oars, for the winds do not look favorable, lass, and strength of arm may be all that sees us safe to port. Well, I do carry this really heavy book, but only in the one hand, so only my one arm is really very strong. If I've lost you with all the talk of ship and oar, let me put it another way. A Maelstrom soldier labors till her last breath, fights till her last drop of blood. We give all of our all in service to this nation, and no less is expected of you. Bois, it is customary for new recruits to swear an oath of their own choosing upon entering the Maelstrom ranks. Is there aught you'd like to say? You have my sword till sea swallows all. What skills I have are yours, till sea swallows all. I will follow the Admiral to the bottom of the abyss. Yeah, that was metal. Also, I'm joining because the Admiral is just really cool. I will follow the Admiral to the bottom of the abyss. As would we all, a capable crew is one thing, but unswerving loyalty is a trait that cannot be trained or bought. Well said, lass. DarcyBits, I hereby assign you the rank of Storm Private 3rd Class. You are now officially a soldier of the Maelstrom. Welcome aboard, Private. May you serve Limsa well till sea swallows all. One day, we'll go into the cold and dark. One day we will go into the ocean. Shining sound. Can you hear me, Darcy? This is Minfilia. An officer of the Maelstrom contacted me with the news of your enlistment. My congratulations, Private Bois. I have no doubt that you are eager to make the acquaintance of your new comrades, but I would ask that you pay a visit to your old ones first. Remember, though, you are now a woman of the storm. You are no less a scion. Remember, though you are now a woman of the storm, you are no less a scion. Pray return to the waking scions at your earliest convenience. There are some friends here whom I would very much like you to meet. We shall be waiting. Do you think it's those kids I was talking to earlier? No rest for the wicked, eh? Am I the wicked in this scenario? What are you talking about? Before you make yourself scarce, I recommend having a word with Commander Riki. Might be worth your while. She's over there. What a shot. Just like, and everyone just looks over. You may now accept the quest, My Little Chocobo, Maelstrom, by speaking to Rashat Riki. Heck yeah! This quest must be completed in order to proceed with the end of the main scenario for a realm reborn. We're almost there. We're almost there. And cool sounds are happening behind me. What's up? What's up, you? Oh, we did it. We did it. So next time, join me on My Little Chocobo. I'm so excited for this! Yes! Alright. We did it. It happened. We did it and it happened. Welcome aboard, I guess. Alright, I've been DarcyBits. This has been Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn. Have a good night.